Welcome students to Naveen Sir Physics classes. So in this lecture we are going to continue the same concepts, basic mathematics for physics. So in last lecture we completed differentiation and integration. So in this lecture we are going to see one more important mathematical tool, so which helps to solve physics problems. So that is trigonometry. Let us take a look how to measure the angles and what are the trigonometric ratios. In this session we are going to discuss. Right. Let us imagine a straight line, a fixed line. So OX is a fixed straight line, and let us take another straight line OA. See, this line OA is called as revolving line. Revolving line. So here, as the revolving line is revolving about a point O, so we are measuring the whatever the revolution of the line with respect to point O is called as angle. So angle is denoted by theta. So angle is nothing but it is the angular displacement, how many degrees or how many radians rotated by the line is known to be angle. So always we are measuring the angle of revolution with respect to a fixed axis. So always we can also measure angle AOX. Angle AOX in anti-clockwise direction. So anti-clockwise direction, if you measure the angles, the sign can be taken as positive. If you measure the angles in clockwise direction, they can be considered as negative. Okay na? So it is a fixed sign conventions for measuring the angles. Whether you are measuring in anti-clockwise direction or clockwise direction, that is also important. And next here, sir, how can we measure the angle? So there are two methods are there in measuring the angle. So one is system of measuring angle. So one is sexagesimal system. Number two is circular system. Sexagesimal system and circular system. So in sexagesimal system we are measuring the angles like one right angle is equals to 90 degree. In the same way, 1 degree equals to 60 minutes. And 1 minute is equals to 60 seconds. So this is the measurement of the angle in sexagesimal system. And next, circular system. In circular system, 1 radian is equals to 180 degree or 2 right angles. Therefore, what we can write, 1 right angle pi by 2. So 2 pi radian is equals to 360 degree. Therefore 1 radian. So how to write 1 radian? 1 radian equals to 360 degree by 2 pi. So 360 by 2 into 3.14, we are going to get 57.3 degree is equals to 1 radian. So this we need when there is a conversion from radian to degree and degree to radian. Okay, right. Sir, how to take the angle in terms of the distance travelled by the revolving line? So let us imagine a fixed line OX and it is performing circular motion around this or revolving around this. This is the initial position, P is the initial position and P dash is the final position, and the radius of this path is R, and this is known to be arc of a circle, and this is radius and theta. So theta is the ratio between length of an arc by radius. Therefore theta equals to L by R, and there is no unit for angle, but in physics this is considered as a supplementary fundamental physical quantity. It has unit, so its unit is radian. So where we can use this concept of angle and revolution? So this we are going to use in physics in circular motion, in the same way in rotational motion. So we are going to use applications of this angle in these two chapters in physics mainly. Right, let us take a look about some trigonometric ratios. Trigonometric ratios. Let us consider two straight lines. Two straight lines x dash O x, y dash O y, two straight lines. They are intersecting at a point O. So these two lines divide the plane into how many equal parts? 4 equal parts, and each part is known to be quadrant. Quadrant nothing but fourth part of the plane. Okay, so this is first quadrant and second quadrant, third and fourth quadrant. Let us take a line in these 4 quadrants. One, two, three, then 4. So 4 quadrants, so it is makes an angle theta here. Now this is the angle with respect to x-axis, and now here this is the angle this is angle with respect to this. So these are the four quadrants. If we draw somewhat clearly, so we can draw figure like this. So this is theta in first quadrant, in second quadrant, in third quadrant, in fourth quadrant. Okay, let us take some ratios here. So for suppose this is O M N. So here we can get a right angle triangle, and we are going to write some ratios here. So the ratio between, I think so you know about a right angle triangle. In a right angle triangle, this is opposite side, this is hypotenuse, and this is adjacent side. The ratio between opposite side to the hypotenuse. So ratio between opposite side to the hypotenuse, we can say it as a sine of angle. So O M N theta. So the ratio between Mn by OM is sine theta. That means sine theta is nothing but opposite side by hypotenuse. Cos theta is adjacent side. This is adjacent side. ON by OM, and then tan theta opposite by adjacent, then inverse ratios. So 1 by sine theta is cosecant theta, 1 by cos theta is secant theta, 1 by tan theta is cot theta. So these are the trigonometric ratios. Okay, let us see sign of the trigonometric ratios in four quadrants. This is first quadrant, second, third and fourth quadrant. So in first quadrant, all trigonometric functions are positive. In second quadrant only sine and cosec are only positive, and in this tan and cot functions are positive, and here cos and secant functions are positive. Okay, so in this we can write angle 90 minus theta we can write, and in second quadrant we can write 90 plus theta or 180 minus theta, because till here the angle is 180, so below this we can write 180 minus theta, and in third quadrant 180 plus theta or 270 minus theta. In fourth quadrant 270 plus theta and 360 minus theta, and here 360 plus theta. That means after each one revolution the angle repeats. So for a certain function the values are repeating after each revolution. So before going to take the values of these in different quadrants, let us take a look about what are the values of sine, cos and tan for different angles. So sine, cos, tan. So theta value 0, 30, 45, 60, 90. If you know these angles, we can write rest of the angles. So sine 0 is 0, sine 30 is 1 by 2, sine 45 is 1 by root 2, sine 60 is root 3 by 2, sine 90 is 1. Next, cos values if you write sine 90 cos 0, 1, cos 30 equals to sine 60, cos 45 is equals to sine 45, 1 by 2 and cos 90 is 0. Next, sine by cos if we do, you are going to get the tan inverse. Tan 0 is 0, tan 30 1 by root 3, tan 45 is 1, tan 60 root 3, tan 90 is infinity. If you want to find out the remaining values like cosecant theta, secant theta and cot theta, you have to inverse the values, you are going to get that values. So let us see, so how to find out the different angles. We know up to 90 degree only. So with the help of this 90 degree, till 90 degree, we are going to find out the rest of angles. For suppose they given that find the value of cos 270. For cos 270 we don't have the tabular form, so we have to use this method to find out the any value of a trigonometric function. Let us see how to find this. I told you that in first quadrant all functions are positive. So for suppose if you are writing sine, in first quadrant how can we write? This is first quadrant. In first quadrant I am writing that sine 90 minus theta, cos 90 minus theta, tan 90 minus theta. Okay, rest we can get automatically. The remaining we are not focusing here. The remaining will be inverse. If you write, you will get the answer. Next, in second quadrant, how can we write? In second quadrant, this is first quadrant, and in second quadrant, we are going to write sine 90 plus theta, cos 90 plus theta, tan 90 plus theta, or we can write sine 180 minus theta, cos 180 minus theta, tan 180 minus theta. Okay, in second quadrant. And then what about in third quadrant? In third quadrant, sine 180 plus theta, cos 180 plus theta, tan 180 plus theta, or sine 270 minus theta, cos 270 minus theta, tan 270 minus theta. Right, in fourth quadrant, sine 270 plus theta, sine 360 minus theta, cos tan, then same. Right. Let us see. To write the values of all these functions, we should know some certain rules. What are the rules? If you see base angles 90 and 270, if you see 90 and 270 in a function, then sine becomes cos, cos becomes sine, tan becomes cot. And 180 and 360. For 180 and 360, the function values never changes. Sine, we can write sine as it is, cos only, tan itself. So I am giving the information about when the base plus some angle, so 90 and 270 angles are involved, then functions are going to change. Sine becomes cos, cos becomes sine, tan becomes cot. If even angles are there, 180 or 360 involves, there is no change in the function, so tan becomes tan itself. And along with that, we should know one more rule. So in this, all functions are positive. In this only sine and cosec are positive. In this, tan or cot are positive. In this, secant and cos are positive. Let us take one example. So sine 90 minus theta. So sine 90 minus theta gives cos theta only, because I told you that. So function changes. If r number is there 90, sorry, so 9 and 270 in first and third quadrant. That means I am telling about the number means the quadrant number. So odd quadrants. So 90 and 270 odd quadrants. So sine of 90 minus theta cos theta. Cos of 90 minus theta sin theta. Let us check it whether it is true or not. So they are asking find the value of cos 30 degree. So cos 30 degree we can write cos of, or this we can write sine of 90 minus 30. If sine of 90 minus 30, we are going to get sine 30. If it is sine 30, what is the value of sine 30? So they are asking cos 60 for suppose. Cos 60 let us take. So cos 60 we can write sine of 90 minus 30. Sorry. So for suppose they are asking for this cos 45 they are asking. So we can write cos of 90 minus 45 we can write. So cos of 90 minus 45 we can write sin 45, because this is in first coordinate. 90 minus theta in first coordinate. In first coordinate all will be positive, so cos becomes sin, therefore 1 by root 2. Okay, in the same way they are asking sin 30 they are asking. So sin 30 we can write sin of 90 minus 60 we can write. So this will gives cos 30. So cos 30 value root 3 by 2. Like that we can get the values. So in first quadrant we won't get any problem, any issues, but we are getting the problem in second, third and fourth quadrant. The given, find the value of cos 135. So cos 135, how to write? Cos of 90 plus 45. So 90, so 9, so 9 is an odd number, so then the function is going to be changed, it becomes as sine. And in 90 plus 45 in which quadrant? 90 plus 45 is in second quadrant. In second quadrant, this will be, the cos function is negative, that means cos 90 plus 45 becomes minus sine of 45, therefore minus 1 by root 2. Next, for suppose they are asking cos 120. So 120 in which quadrant? In second quadrant only. So we can write cos of 90 plus 30 we can write. So in second quadrant cos function turns as sine. So in second quadrant cos becomes sine, and in second quadrant the cos function is negative, therefore minus sine 30 minus 1 by 2. So like that we can find any angle in four quadrants, whatever the angle they give. For suppose they are asking find the value of tan 135. So tan 135, how can we write? Tan 90 plus 45. Sir, we can write like this also. Tan 180 minus 45. Yes, we can write in this way also. So which quadrant? Second quadrant. Both the angles are in second quadrant only. So 90. So function changes. So tan becomes cot. And in second coordinate tan function is negative, minus 45. Okay. Next, tan 180. So 180, no change in the function tan itself, but in second coordinate tan negative. So tan 45. So cot 45 is 1, tan 45 is also 1. So let us take one more example for this. They are asking tan 150. So we can write tan 90 plus 60 in the same way. Tan 180 minus 30 also we can take. So tan odd number becomes cot second quadrant minus, so what we are going to get? Cot 60, and then tan becomes tan only, so second coordinate minus 30. So what is value of tan 30? Tan 30 value 1 by root 3. Therefore reciprocal of this will be also (1 by root 3). In both cases we are getting the same answer. Why? Because tan 60 is root 3, so cot 60 is equals to 1 by tan 60, therefore 1 by root 3. So in this way we can find the angles in any quadrant. Sir, let us take one more example. Cos 225. So cos 225, how can we write? Cos of 180 plus 45 we can write, or cos of 180 minus 270 minus 45 also we can write. So cos of 180 plus 45, which quadrant that is? Third quadrant. in third quadrant, so cos function is a negative, minus cos, no change in the function, even, so cos 45, so minus 1 by root 2, and this is also in third quadrant, it becomes a sine, so minus 45 degree, therefore minus 1 by root 2. Okay, so let us take one more, cos 180. So cos 180 we can write cos of 90 plus 90. So cos 90 plus 90, 90 plus theta in second coordinate, so it becomes sine, so but minus 90, sine 90 is minus 1. So in this way we can find any angles in any quadrant. Let us take look about the graphs of sine and cos function. Okay, these two functions also important, because in physics we are expressing the equations of a simple harmonic motion or wave equation and electromagnetic equation, magnetic field expression, we are representing only as a function of cos or sine. Sir, why we are only selecting functions of cos and sine? Because these cos and sine functions are harmonic functions. So harmonic means they repeats their path after regular interval of time. That means sine 0 is 0. Again after completion of one revolution, sine 360 is also 0. In the same way, cos 0 is 1, cos 360 is also 1. That means they are changing their values after regular interval of time. The wave which is produced due to a oscillations of a pendulum or oscillations of a accelerating particle, so these functions are regularly repeating. So that's why we are expressing the electromagnetic wave function or wave equation or simple harmonic displacement, we are expressing only in terms of sine or cos. That's why we need to learn what are the structures of the sine and cos functions. So graphs of sine and cos functions. So I am drawing the sine function first. So I am taking the values along x-axis. Right. So pi by 2, 3 pi by 2, 2 pi. So after 2 pi nothing but what? The particle is repeating its path again. Right. Sine 0, that means sine 0 value is 0 only. Next sine pi by 2 is 1 here. Next sine pi is 0. Next sine 3 pi by 2 is minus 1. If we add this, we are going to get a graph of sine function like this. So again after this also it is repeating. Okay, so this is graphical representation of the sine function. So why after 2 pi again you can see a symmetrical waveform, the earlier one. Next cos function. So along this x-axis we are taking the values pi, 3 pi by 2, 2 pi, after that adding up pi by 2 like that. So this is 1. Okay, now plus 1 and this is minus 1. right? Sin 0, sorry, cos 0 is 1 maximum. It starts from the maximum, and next 0, and then maximum, and here and here. So in this way the function is repeating. So cos function starts from the maximum value, plus 1 to 0, and then minus 1, and then 0 plus 1. That means the values are varying between plus 1 to minus 1. They are repeating their values. That's why these functions are known to be harmonic functions. So in our physics, so we are using these sine and cos functions to represent the waves as y is equals to a sine of omega t plus kx or plus or minus kx. In the same way, electromagnetic wave representation E is equals to E naught sine of omega t plus or minus phi. So in the place of this sine function, we can also write cos also. No change in the representation. So if you are using cos function, the wave is starting from the plus 1. If you are representing the sine function, the wave is starting from the origin. That means from the extreme position it starts its oscillations. We can take cos function. From the mean position it starts its oscillation. We can take sine function. That is a difference between the sine and cos function. Okay, right. Take care, stay safe.